Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. Art is a lie that makes us realize the truth. The chief enemy of creativity is good sense. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Good artists copy. Great artists steal. Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls. There is no abstract art. You must always start with something. Afterward, you can remove all traces of reality. I paint objects as I think them, not as I see them. The artist is a receptacle for emotions that come from all over the place. From the sky, from the earth, from a scrap of paper, from a passing shape, from a spider's web. Art is the elimination of the unnecessary. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. The urge to destroy is also a creative urge. I do not seek, I find. If I paint a wild horse, you might not see the horse, but surely you will see the wildness. Painting is just another way of keeping a diary. The world today doesn't make sense, so why should I paint pictures that do? It's not what you paint, but how you paint it. A work of art is the trace of a magnificent struggle. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Everything you can imagine is real. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not. It is your work in life that is the ultimate seduction. We don't grow older, we grow riper. Everything is a miracle. It is a miracle that one does not dissolve in one's bath like a lump of sugar. The older you get, the stronger the wind gets, and it's always in your face. When I die, it will be a shipwreck, and as when a huge ship sinks, many people all around will be sucked down with it. Art is the most intense mode of individualism that the world has known. I paint just as I breathe. When I work, I relax. Doing nothing or entertaining visitors makes me tired. I have only one thought: work. The hidden harmony is better than the obvious. We have a misfortune that our minds have wings, but our bodies do not. You mustn't always believe what I say. Questions tempt you to tell lies, particularly when there is no answer. What one does is what counts and not what one had the intention of doing. I'd like to live as a poor man with lots of money. The first half of life is learning to be an adult, the second half is learning to be a child. Action is the foundational key to all success. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan, in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. He can who thinks he can, and he can who thinks he can. This is an inexorable, indisputable law. I am always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Never permit a dichotomy to rule your life, a dichotomy in which you hate what you do so you can have pleasure in your spare time. Look for a situation in which your work will give you as much happiness as your spare time. Success is dangerous. One begins to copy oneself, and to copy oneself is more dangerous than to copy others. It leads to sterility. Without great solitude, no serious work is possible. Unless your work gives you trouble, it is no good. You must not be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are never a crime in art. The more technique you have, the less you have to worry about it. The more technique there is, the less there is. I search incessantly, and there is a logical sequence in all this research. I never do a painting as a work of art. All of them are researches. One must act in painting as in life directly. To copy others is necessary, but to copy oneself is pathetic. I begin with an idea and then it becomes something else. You have to have an idea of what you are going to do, but it should be a vague idea. What is necessary to paint well? The importance of an artist is to be able to survive as an artist. We must be vigilant, even against our own subconscious thoughts. Give me a museum, and I'll fill it. My mother said to me, if you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope. Instead, I was a painter and became Picasso. I'd like to live as a poor man with lots of money. The people who make art their business are mostly imposters. Museums are just a lot of lies, and the people who make art their business are mostly imposters. An idea is a point of departure and no more. As soon as you elaborate, it becomes transformed by thought. I don't believe in accidents. There are only encounters in history. There are no accidents. Abstract art is only painting. You must always start with something. Afterward, you can remove all traces of reality. It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child. Don't waste your youth growing up. The first half of life is learning to be an adult. The second half is learning to be a child. I am the child who is born out of the incestuous marriage of art and money. When I was a child, my mother said to me, if you become a soldier, you'll be a general. If you become a monk, you'll be the Pope. Instead, I became a painter and wound up as Picasso. The older you get, the stronger the wind gets, and it's always in your face. We don't grow older, we grow riper. It takes a very long time to become young. The smell of opium is the least stupid smell in the world. I attempt to observe nature, always. I am intent on resemblance, and resemblance more real than the real, attaining the surreal. In art, the mass of people no longer seek consolation and exaltation, but whatever is new, odd, original, extravagant, or scandalous. But when I am quite alone, I have not the courage to think of myself as an artist in the ancient, splendid sense of the word. Where do I get this power of creating and forming? I don't know. Where do I get this power of creating and forming? I don't know. The more I paint, the more I like everything. The painter goes through states of fullness and evacuation. That is the whole secret of art. I go for a walk in the forest of Fontainebleau. I get there more quickly than among painters.